Welcome to the Doula Darcy podcast. I'm your host, Darcy, a business coach for doulas, and I love helping my fellow doulas master the art of marketing so that they can grow their businesses and help more families. On the podcast, I combine my decade of experience in advertising with 14 years as a doula to empower other doulas with the marketing strategies and mindset shifts they need to attract more clients and create successful, fulfilling doula careers. Whether you're just starting out as a doula or you're looking to take your doula business to the next level, you're in the right place. Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Doula Darcy here, and I want to talk about kind of the elephant in the room. And actually I was just thinking, I want to talk about today what no one's talking about, but maybe they are talking about it and I just don't see it. I honestly don't, lightly pay attention to the news. And when people talk about how they're, oh my God, my Instagram reel is just like death and destruction and all this sad stuff. And I'm like, that's weird because mine is like skiing, falls, and people being funny, the pecking order of girl trips. And anyway, my algorithm is maybe different. I know it's different than yours. So anyway, the elephant in the room. I am the person I have decided on the planet who talks to the most doulas on a daily basis and all over the English-speaking world. That's what I'm doing. And the word on these streets is it's slow right now for some of us. And I do want to say, because I talk about this all the time, this is one of my most popular reels, was about talking about how, and this is so true, I can, as the person who talks to the most doulas in the world, I can talk to two doulas on the same day in the same city. One is slammed, doesn't know what to do with all the inquiries coming in. The other one is like, it's crickets. No one calls me. I don't have any clients. And I'm doing all the things. So in that scenario, the reason you're not getting any clients is you may be doing all the things, but you're not doing all the things. So that is a marketing problem if there's other doulas in your city who are slammed busy. But right now, what I am seeing is that, yes, some doulas are slammed busy, and that is great. There are others who are not, where it is really slow and it's not a marketing problem. I'm going to call it, I think it's these rising gas prices and food prices are going up. So, which affects people thinking like, oh, I don't have any money. I can't afford to hire a doula for myself. So the reason I'm saying this is me, myself, and my agency is slow right now. In addition to being the Doula Darcy, being a doula business coach, doing this podcast, hosting my Doula Village membership community, I do have a local agency in my area. We just celebrated our 16th anniversary. It hasn't been an agency for 16 years, just to be clear. But my postpartum doula business that I started 16 years ago is now an agency, and I'm not working in it at all. I'm running it, but I don't do any client work. I have, in the past 5-ish years, kind of slowly stepped back for a while. I was giving most of the clients to the independent contractors, but I was taking, I had some three-peats come through or just some favorite clients that had another baby. But now I am not doing any one-on-one in-person postpartum doula work. All my independent contractors handle that. And we've been going along now for 16 years, and like I said, it is slow right now. And I always talk about there's feast or famine always in doula work. You can go back. There's a podcast episode on feast or famine and what to do. But the cliff notes are that when you're in a famine phase, that's when to work on your marketing. That's when to build what I always talk about is like building the solid foundation that your doula business marketing is built on. So that's what you can be working on right now. And in today's podcast episode, I'm going to share with you the 5 things I am doing to bring life and inquiries back into my local doula business agency. So I will say that when I started to notice the slowdown, at first I was like, this is strange, because for many, many years, I have run that agency and done zero marketing, because for 8 to 10 years, I did a lot of marketing. I built that solid foundation based on my decade of experience in advertising and marketing and my burning desire in my gut to be a postpartum doula for anyone that would have me and to make postpartum better for anyone, everybody, as many people as I could. And this is what you all need to do. You have to harness that fire in your belly and put it into networking. You've got to get out and pound the pavement and talk to everybody in your community who is also talking to pregnant and postpartum families. So that's what I did. And my business ran swimmingly on most importantly, my website, good SEO, and the networking and the stellar reputation I had. So for many, many years, I literally did zero social media. And we were slammed busy because of my good SEO and then inquiries coming in that were referrals from past clients or referrals from the people in the community, providers in the community. So when things first started to slow down, I was like, I had to have a little talk with myself. And I was like, well, Darcy, you have kind of ignored this and not done any marketing for years. But then I think really it's this gas prices and the fear that families have right now of spending any money. So as with any feast or famine time, and P.S., I've seen that in the 16 years that I've had a postpartum doula business, this has happened a few times where gas prices go up, everyone freaks out, it gets really slow for a little while. It always ends, you guys. It always ends. And it always ends up being like all of a sudden we hit the wall on this, and then you get 20 inquiries. Then you're slammed. You're back in the feast phase of this. So if you are a doula who wants to ride this out and hang with me, I'm going to tell you the 5 things I personally am doing to get more inquiries. And number 1 is zhuzhing up my website. So a couple years ago, I have a Squarespace website, and the template I used for my website had an upgrade. And so I had to hit this button to upgrade to, whatever, 12.1 version of the template. And I just hit upgrade and walked away and never really looked at it too much. So I just went back and kind of noticed in some places the font was a little wonky and the spacing was messed up and it just didn't look perfect. Not that your website has to be perfect, but we've gone through and fixed all that. I actually did end up hiring someone to help me with that so I can focus on Doula Darcy things. So she's going through and just kind of zhuzhing up the design, and we're both turning an eye on making sure every single page of that website has the SEO, search engine optimization, absolutely dialed in so that I can be sure to remain on the top ranking in Google searches. That is the number 1 thing you can do to be a successful doula, is have a website that ranks high when people are Googling doula near me. So I'm going back and doubling down on that and just upgrading my website. So that is a great thing everybody can be doing. Number 2 is that I'm going back and zhuzhing up my Google business profile. I made my Google business profile, I don't even know. It wasn't 16 years ago because they didn't exist 16 years ago. So whenever Google business profiles came out, I made one and didn't really do much to it. So I've went in there, added some new photos, kind of zhuzhed up and beefed up and the description. And this is key, went back and emailed everybody we've worked with in the past couple of years and asked them to leave a Google review, because Google reviews on your Google business profile is what helps boost that. So that's going to be super helpful. And then number 3 is doubling down on networking. Again, when I say for the past few years, I've done 0 social media posting, I've also done 0 networking. So first thing I'm doing is I set a date and set out the invites for my annual networking night that I host at my house. I host it on my deck. I invite everybody I know, and it's always a blast. And it's always a great way to kind of connect with everybody at once, put myself and my agency back on top of mind awareness. After I host one of these, I always get more inquiries from referrals from these people. So this is really important. If a networking thing for birth workers doesn't exist in your area, host one. Host it at a coffee shop if you don't want to do it at your home. But get together with the other people in your community who are working with pregnant and postpartum families. The other thing I'm doing for networking is being social on social media. I'm logging into my social media accounts and being social. So this means I'm going and commenting on everybody, my fellow providers' posts. I'm DMing them. I'm like saying hi. I'm sharing their stuff. I'm being generous. And I'm already seeing an increase just in my own social media following, engagement, all that stuff. So go be social on social media. Go network on social media, and then go network in real life. Pound the pavement. Drop off rack cards. Have coffee dates. Go meet the other people in your community who are working with pregnant and postpartum families. Tell them what you do. Ask them what they do. Ask if you guys can, work together to help families in your community. You all know, before becoming a doula, I had a decade-long career in advertising and marketing. So this was in the 90s into the early 2000s. And one thing I learned at that time was that research shows, it's evidence-based, that when there was a recession, because a couple of those happened in my advertising days, when there is a recession, the companies that continue to spend money on advertising versus freaking out that no money's coming in, so we're going to cancel all our ads. The businesses that did continue to spend money on advertising in a recession are the ones who made it through. And the ones who got scared and got quiet are the ones who had to close up shop. So please do not mishear me and think that I'm telling you have to run ads right now. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the businesses who continue to put themselves out there are the ones who made it through. So back in the 90s, there was no social media. There was no internet, basically, really. Companies barely had websites. There wasn't Google. Or maybe there was, I don't know. But it wasn't like today. Today, there's so many ways as a doula you can put yourself out there, quote unquote, advertise organically, free, without spending money on ads. Back in the 90s, all a small business could do was run TV ads, run radio ads, run newspaper ads, or not do anything. So research shows the companies who did nothing and hid, when you do that, when you stop posting on social media, people forget about you. You have to stay top of mind awareness, either by running ads or being active in your community, networking, or active on social media, and having a website that ranks high on Google searches. So please keep that in mind, because what I see a lot is inquiries go down, and instead of saying, oh, it's probably because gas prices are going up, you say, oh, it's because everybody hates me. What if everybody hates me? What if they think I'm doing a bad job? What if they think I'm cringy on Instagram? Y'all make up so many stories in your head that aren't true. So instead of thinking that your inquiries are down because everyone hates you and then that leading you to, well, everybody hates me. I'm not going to post on Instagram this week. I'm going to just hide. That's not going to help your doula business. Think of this, inquiries are down because no one knows I exist. People forgot about me this week. I better go post on Instagram. Think of it from that context. I heard a great quote the other day that fear is actually selfish. And it's from James Wedmore, who is hosting a amazing free 3-day experience called the Business Breakthrough Experience. I will put the link to sign up in the show notes because it's going to be amazing. But he was talking about how fear is being selfish, and I completely agree. And the way I usually say it on some of the webinars I do is that you putting yourself out there, you marketing yourself, it's not about you. It's about who you can help. So James saying fear is selfish, your fear of you putting yourself out there, you're being selfish. Because when you don't put yourself out there because you're afraid, you're blocking someone from getting a doula, from learning that you exist and hiring you to make their birth better or make their postpartum experience better. So you being afraid and precious about showing your face on Instagram, you're actually being selfish. You need to put yourself out there so that people know your doula services exist and they can have a better birth and postpartum experience. You being afraid is being selfish and blocking someone from having a life-changing experience. You're going to make their life better on a generational level if they can have a doula at their birth or during their postpartum experience. So let's just stop with the, I'm too afraid to put myself out there. No, you're being selfish and you need to stop. Okay, back to, what number were we on? Okay, zhuzh up your website, zhuzh up your Google business profile, get busy networking, number 3. Number 4 is social media. So I truly, when I say I haven't posted on social media for my local business in years, it's true. Maybe like once every 6 months, I would throw a post up. Honestly, because I was like, God, Darcy, you're over here all the time telling doulas to post on social media and you never do. So every once in a while, I would throw a social media post up, but nothing consistent at all. In the past few weeks, I have started to be consistent, putting more posts up, playing around with trial reels, posting some reels. The other thing I'm doing is setting a timer to protect myself from going down a 3-hour rabbit hole on Facebook. I'm setting a timer and I'm going into the local mom groups and answering questions and looking around and see if anybody's asking about doula support and just showing my face in there again so I can be top of mind awareness. So that's number 4. And then number 5, fifth thing I'm doing to breathe life back into my doula agency is that I am emailing my list. Again, another thing I haven't done for years. For a while there, I was putting out a monthly newsletter, which was great because, again, it just reminds people that you exist. Keeps you at the top of their minds. But as time has gone on, I let that slide. So I'm going back to sending out an email, adding all the clients we've worked with in the past couple of years, making sure they're on that list. I'm going to send out an email. And here's what I want you to hear. I know there's going to be a bunch of unsubscribes because I haven't sent an email in years. And that's okay. Because frankly, some of the people on that list have kids that are sophomores in high school. So they're not exactly in doula land anymore. But I know that there are some of those people that are going to stay. Because they have a connection to me because their sophomore in high school is a sophomore in high school. And like seeing my newsletter is going to remind them of when their precious kid was a baby. And they might stay. And then they might go to work tomorrow and be like, oh, you guys, I had a postpartum doula. You pregnant coworkers, you better make sure you hire her. So some people are going to stay. Even email, my point is, even email people you worked with years ago, because you never know who they're going to refer to you. And they're free to unsubscribe if they so choose. And that, again, doesn't mean they hate you. It means they get a lot of emails. So if you don't have an email list, I encourage you to start one. And there's, if you're just starting out, you can blind copy and you have 5 people on your email list. You can just send a real email and blind copy everybody and just send out an email. If you have more than that, there's so many programs you can use. Constant Contact, MailChimp. Oh, sorry, all their names are flying. Flowdesk. I mean, there's a million and they're all good. Just pick one and use email as a way to communicate with former clients, people who interviewed with you, people who you met at, and got on your list at the local baby fair. Stay in contact with these people and tell them what classes you're teaching. Tell them what you have coming up in your business. Tell them, give them some tips and then ask them to reply and book a call with you. All of these things, these 5 things I have mentioned, are free to do. Yes, I'm paying someone to help me with my website, but you don't have to do that. Hopefully, you have a website. Hopefully, you've listened to Doula Darcy and you have a website that you are in full control of and you can go in and make changes and make updates and work on the back end on the search engine optimization. If not, go pay whoever you had create your website to go zhuzh it up. All these things I'm mentioning are free to do. Yes, they take your time, but you have time. You just admitted to me that the inquiries are slow. You have time right now. And this is what I talked about in the episode I did on the feast or famine cycle of doula businesses. When you're not busy with clients, that's when you work on your marketing. That's when you work on your website. That's when you work on your social media. That's when you write blogs. That's when you send your email newsletter. That's when you go network and you have coffee and meet up with all the chiropractors and other doulas and acupuncturists in your town. That's when you work on what I call building the foundation of your doula business that will carry you through when you are busy working with clients and don't have time to do this. So I hope this was truly helpful, and I would love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Instagram. If you're on my email list, reply to my emails that I send. I do actually read them. I do actually read my DMs. I'd love to know if this episode was helpful. I really think it was jam-packed with what I am personally doing, and this is going to help you get through this. I promise this tough economic downturn time, whatever you want to call it, is going to end. They always do. And I just want you to be there when the inquiries do start rolling in, and to hear what I said about the companies that made it through a recession are the ones who stayed advertising. If you, even in tough economic times, there are people hiring doulas, and you just want to make sure. The other reason to put yourself out there is you want to be at the top of their list. Yes, when things are going better and there's 100 people looking for a doula, you're going to get chosen sometimes. But when there is only 10 people looking for a doula, you want to be at the top of that list. So go out there and do excellent work, and go out there and do excellent marketing, and you will do great. Have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Doula Darcy podcast. I hope you found this episode valuable, and I'd love for you to join me on the next one. Let's keep the conversation going. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at the Doula Darcy, or join my free Facebook community, the Doula Marketing Group, where we dive deeper into growing your doula business. If you enjoyed the episode, please take a moment to rate and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your feedback will help more doulas discover the show, which in turn helps more families find the doula support that they need. And I believe that is how we save the world.